Hi and welcome to the Cult TV Sofa. This is a reaction video of the 17th episode of Season 1 of Babylon 5 called Legacies. Last time we saw a colonel and a Psy-Corps telepath visit the station to perform an internal investigation on Sinclair and the senior staff. Ivanova attended her resignation as she didn't want to sully the memory of her mother's psychic touch on her mind by having the telepath scan her for truths. Sinclair didn't accept her resignation and found out that the colonel performing the investigation had a personal grudge against him and managed to rile him up enough so that the telepath could see his real intentions, leading to his downfall. Oh, and there was a motorbike. So let's see what happens in the next episode. I'm going to put any relevant trivia that I find over here, and at the end of the reaction I'm going to be discussing what happened and my thoughts about the episode. And I'm going to start it in 3, 2, 1.
When the greatest warrior leader the Minbari ever had dies suddenly while on a diplomatic tour, it's natural they'd want to honor him on his journey home.
So, senior Minbari has died. Minbari
A war
soldier.
cruiser. Never thought I'd see one of those again.
That's going to have an effect on him. That's probably quite traumatic.
They're still big and ugly.
I assume he doesn't mean ugly in the sense of aesthetics, because I think aesthetically it looks quite nice.
The Minbari ship is through.
I'm on my way. Check, please.
I think she'd have a tab. Actually, probably not allowed to have a tab as a senior member of staff. See?
Hey!
Not a very good one. Okay. So like we saw in last week's episode...
You know this girl?
No, she's just taken a mind burst. She's a telepath.
Oh. Hang on, just going to pause a sec. So... she's just taken a mind burst. She's a telepath. I assumed... because like we saw in the last episode, the telepath doing the internal investigation with that colonel sent a signal to trigger a pain response in the colonel. So he transmitted, and I don't think he transmitted pain, but he transmitted something to the colonel's brain to make him think he was feeling pain. And I thought that's what Talia had done then to stop her. But I'm not quite sure. She said something about mind burst, so I don't quite know. So we'll see.
The Minbari's coming in with her gun ports open. She's armed for a fight.
It's coming in fast and close.
We are on a peaceful mission, Commander.
Then why are your gun ports open?
We have no interest in explaining our ways to you.
Well, that's a good way of leading to an attack.
You will find that the guns are not active.
Confirmed. No targeting sensors detected.
You will both join me there, of course, to honor Bremer's memory.
God, it must be hard to honour a great general who was probably integral to the war that he fought in, killed lots of his friends. I know there's peace now, but it must be difficult.
What do you mean by burst?
Yeah.
If you're born with your psi talent active, you learn early on to block the noise of other minds. But sometimes the talent is latent until it's triggered. Onset of puberty can do it.
Well timed. There's coincidence.
She didn't know what was happening, and her mind just ran away and hid. As soon as we find out who she is, I'll arrange for her transport to Earth. A Psy-Corps rep can meet her there.
Negative. She was committing a theft when she went down. She's under station jurisdiction until that is dealt with.
I was going to pause this in a sec. So this is going to be a conflict between the two because Talia, the telepath, the law is, I think, that if you have telepathic abilities, you have 3 options. Join the Psy-Corps, take drugs to suppress your ability, or get locked up, basically. So the telepath's response is to immediately, yep, we'll ship her off to the Psy-Corps. That's simple as far as she's concerned. But then you've got Ivanova, who's anti-Psy-Corps, who's obviously going to try and protect the girl and not want her to go there. So she's going to try and block it and stop it. But it's the law. Earth government law, so yeah, let's see what happens here.
You know, Jeff, I can't believe you're really going to attend this ceremony. I mean, this Brahma guy planned to lead the attack on the line.
He has to. He's senior stuff.
Giving the Minbari this courtesy is a sign of respect. It'll help strengthen the reconciliation of our two worlds.
Yeah, that's still going to be hard. God, that ship's close, though, to the station. You'd think it'd be further away. It's got like a sort of Robin Hood medieval feel to the music.
Lieutenant Commander Ivanova?
Ivanova's looking very casual with her hair. It doesn't look sort of standard. I thought she'd had to have it tied back.
It is because he was such a great warrior that his body is being displayed in this way.
It's not traditional.
It is most unusual. The Star Riders, his clan, insisted on it.
How do you feel?
Gently, Elisa.
So her powers have just triggered, and now she's hearing all these voices in her head.
Her father died last year. An accident. She's been living on her own and down below ever since.
How can a child be living on her own like that? This comes back to my argument about having down below on the station.
My mom died young too, same as yours.
Stop that!
Oh, she's scanning freely.
Elisa, you must never read someone's mind without permission.
As I said, she needs to be properly trained.
I'm just going to pause it again, because I know that the Psychor are kind of seen as the enemy, or have been so far anyway for what we've seen. And that those three options they have seem, well, bad, to most people. But this is the reason why it happens. She's just got her abilities. She's freely scanning people. She doesn't know any better. She's scanning people, reading their minds. Apparently she's broadcasting information freely, so that means other telepaths are going to, could be bombarded by information. So I do get that she needs to learn to control the abilities, and that's what the Psychor does. They're the people who do that. So it is tricky. It's obviously just the way that the Psychor are used is the problem. But there does need to be control for her sake as well as everyone else.
She's not leaving here, Miss Winters. Not as long as I have anything to say about it.
I don't know what she could do to stop it.
No human security. I have arranged for Minbari guards on the Shahilit's body during the night. Neither you nor any of your officers will interfere with them.
On Star Trek, you have The Next Generation, you have Councillor Troy. There's a councillor there to support the captain and other senior staff. Haven't seen anything like that on Babylon 5. I think they could do with some counselling and emotional support. Sinclair perhaps more than most. That seems like a very human / American way of doing things. They fold the flag up like that, don't they, and hand it to someone.
Where is the Shahilite?
So, having a tour of the station?
Where is the Shahilite?
Well, his people were guarding it.
This is a grave offense, Commander.
It's not their fault, they weren't allowed.
No matter how great the loss, it is not our way to let a single clan dictate Minbari policy.
Delenn seems to be his superior. He's reverent towards her. She gave him a slap down then, pretty much, in a nice way, but it was still a slap down, and he took it.
No, Miss Winters wants to send her to the Psychor immediately. I believe she should have a choice in what happens to her.
I agree. But does she have any other choice? Do what you think is right. I'll back your play.
Oh, that's a big thing for him to do. I know he... especially when her thought processes are swayed because of her mother. He still trusts that she'll do the right thing, so that's a big thing for him to do.
But no one's come forth to claim credit for taking this great general's body.
Before he became a warrior
She knew him.
of the Star Riders clan, Bremer was a high priest of the religious caste.
Why don't you ask in the alien sector? I'm sure you could find someone there with an interest in dead bodies.
Not the carrion eaters.
Oh, an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Yeah, but I don't have much of a choice here, do I?
Well, I'm investigating your options. There may be more than you think.
She's got her hands on. They're holding hands. That's touch apparently enhances the telepathic ability.
Can I have my link, please?
Just keeping in practice.
I didn't see her do that. I saw her holding a hand. I was thinking more of the telepathic side, not just the thief side. So, I mean, especially with her powers just all over the place, you'd think she'd have been picking up stuff from touch.
This is nothing to me.
Bones and bodies around him. That's good makeup. That's really good prosthetics.
There will be a substantial credit allowance for clothing and other personal adornment, in addition to your fee for services. We are prepared to be extremely generous.
So the Nana trying to get a telepath.
I'd really like to see it. I almost can if I can't.
Oh.
I have to lie down. I peeked into her mind. I know I'm not supposed to, but...
What was it like in there?
Alien!
I suppose, yeah. Alien physiology is going to be different. They're going to think differently. And the structure's different, so yeah, it would feel alien. Weird.
Now they're looking at the station structure itself. If security has to take this place apart and put it back together again, they will.
Do we know if it even came aboard? We didn't see anyone looking at the body on the station until they discovered it was missing.
For the Minbari, psi ability is considered a gift.
They're not paid?
It is not a job. It is a calling. We do not all think the same way. We...
So two Minbari took the body, but she knows about it.
Is there something going on around here about a dead body? I know what happened to it.
Shipping something home, Ambassador?
Just some personal possessions.
Ashes.
Stealing Branmer's body and cremating it without anyone noticing it.
God, how would you do that?
I felt an obligation to Branmer. He told me that when he was called, he wanted only a simple funeral. He did not want to be a monument to war. I decided to carry out Branmer's wishes.
You almost started a war.
What about Naroon?
We will tell him the truth. But I will tell him my way.
Star Riders will protest this. I will lead the fight myself.
You will do nothing.
Do you speak for yourself?
I speak for the entire Grey Council.
She has power.
You will apologize to Commander Sinclair. Privately.
Well, she said privately. Not like a public apology. That would be even worse.
There is no higher testimony to a warrior's courage and skill than praise from his enemy. I would like to send that message to your homeworld in a personal message.
Whoa.
You will do this as an Earth Force officer.
And as commander of Babylon 5.
Ooh. Has he got the authority to do that?
Do you think Talia and Ivanova would be really teed off if I decided to go with them in Bari?
In order? Yes and no. I don't need to be a telepath to figure that one out.
It's going to be hard for her, though, being on her own. No other humans. Surprised she's been allowed to go.
I wasn't exactly polite to you over this whole thing.
We both got a little hot, I think.
Both did it for the right reasons.
Just wanted to say safe journey. When you looked into Delen's mind, did you see anything else?
Aha!
There was one other thing. A word. Chrysalis. She shut down real fast when I touched that.
It was an alright episode. So it looks like, well, certainly senior Minbari. He was the was he the captain of the ship? That Naroon? Well, he was a senior officer of some kind. Knew that she was on the Grey Council, and let's say her word basically was the law. What she said went, which is why she didn't. She wanted to tell him herself about what happened without Sinclair and Garibaldi there. because she could basically say, "This is what happened. Deal with it. Do it my way." Whereas if they were there, obviously she couldn't do that. For the telepath side of things, there was an awful lot of touching going on, hugging, holding hands and things. And especially an untrained telepath, that would be causing havoc, I'd have thought, with her. I think they kind of just brushed over that and ignored that as an issue. I'm surprised she was allowed to go. Because if that's an option, then lots of other telepaths could be going to other species, and I just wouldn't have thought that that'd be, I was going to say allowed, but could they stop them? I suppose it's free movement. But what happens if she ever comes back? Yeah, that's an issue. If ever she leaves the Minbari and then comes back to human space, she would still be under the rules. She would have to be joining Psychor, go to prison, or take the drugs. They wouldn't just leave her out there as a telepath with no training and not under Psychor control, basically. So it opens up a whole load of issues. I don't know how that would be resolved. Yeah. And when Sinclair at the end was waiting to see her off, I was about to say, oh, that's good that he's there. But then he asked her that question about did you see anything else in her mind? And whilst I do believe he was there to see her off from a commander's point of view, from his point of view, because I think it's probably the sort of thing he would do, but he also kind of used her a bit as well by, saying, what else did you see? Because obviously he wants to know what's in Delen's mind about, because what happened to him at the Lime. So I suppose he had the right to ask, but I don't know. You did go down a little bit in my estimation doing that, but I suppose he had the right. He was only asking. It wasn't a pressure thing, but I don't know. She did scan Delen without permission, so by asking that question of her, who knows what she could have said and told him. That's personal information in Delen's mind. I don't know. That's a bit. I'm back to my original thing. I'm a bit off about it. He's gone down a little bit. It's a bit unfair to ask her that question. And she saw one word chrysalis, a cocoon. So obviously that's part of the story. We shall find out what happens in the future. The cruiser, the Minbari cruiser, it was weird the way it was so close to the station, but also you got an idea of the scale as well. They're big ships compared to the station. It was quite a. Obviously, the station's still a lot bigger, but it was still a big ship. So that was quite interesting to see the sort of scale. And the fact that they were so close together kind of implies that no other ships were allowed to enter Babylon 5 for that time period, because there was no way ships could get into the main docking bay. Is there another way in? Oh, I'm not sure. Maybe there are secondary ways in. I thought all ships came into the front, but maybe there are other ways. But it's possible they could have said, look, just because this is such an important thing and important ceremonies going on, that for the time being we're stopping entry to Babylon 5 just temporarily, so that's possible. But maybe there are other ways in. I can't think. I'm not sure. So interesting episode. Let me know what you thought about it. got lots of stuff churning away in my head about it all. Can't get it out of the bed. I'm still thinking it all through. So yeah, let me know what you thought about it in the comments. And yeah, see you for the next one. Be seeing you.